make it this webinar as cozy as possible. So please, everyone, raise your hand whenever you want to make a question. And also, if you have any question, feel free to write them in the chat so we can also help you as well to answer some of your questions. I'm going to start. Let me share my screen. So as well, going to start. Then the purpose of the name of this webinar today is Build Your Future in Australia. It's basically to help you and to provide you with the information that you need to achieve permanent residency in Australia. Yes, we are going to be talking about our personal experiences, our experience that we have as well as a company, and the experience that Anna Julia and Lady also have through their professions and also through their migration paths. And this purpose is not focused only on you as an individual, but also as with your family. Then if you want to come to Australia with your loved ones, with your wives, with your partners, with your kids, there are possibilities as well. And we are going to be talking about that a little bit more during the chat. I'm going to share my screen. Very happy always. What
Wait. Okay, now.
Video that we did with some of our students here in Australia. So the journey to any migrant coming to Australia, yes, from the moment that you arrive in the country and everything is new for you. I also chose the questions if you can as an international student, or if you can to even to work professionally. And please enjoy the video that we have prepared for you today. Coming to Australia has different journeys, and the purpose that we try to do as well is to show you how you get integrated into Australian society and what are the challenges that you need, and learning the language, integrating with the community, developing your professional career, enjoying the country as well. Enjoy the country. Once you enjoy these new adventures that you're having, there are more opportunities for you that will open. This is our company video. That you just for you to get to know a little bit more about us. I have a question for you right now, and I would like to know if your permanent residency is approved tomorrow. How quickly will you pack your bags? For the ones that are offshore, how quickly you will pack your bags to come to Australia if tomorrow Julia is sending you the great news that you have been approved for your permanent residency? And this question is a tricky question. And Nisi says, not right now. I bet that there are some people that they will be already packing the bags, right? And even as a migrant, if you are here in Australia, I know that many people, once they get the residency approved, the first thing that they do is that they pack their bags and they go back home. They go back to their home country, right? Because coming to Australia, sometimes you come to Australia as a international student, then you do the whole journey to become a permanent residency that sometimes it can take 4 or 5 years. And during these 4 or 5 years, sometimes you even don't go back home. If you are from Mexico, you are from Philippines, if you are from Colombia, sometimes it takes a while to go back because you are focused on your process and you are focused on your goals. But you don't need to come here to Australia as an international student, to have a permanent residency. You can also apply from your home countries. Then please put that in your mind. How quickly you will pack your bags if today we tell you you got a permanent residency to come here to Australia and to live permanently. Sorry, 1 second, I removed it. I'm going to ask you quickly because it's important, so also you can be informed and you can get to know a little bit more about us. Please follow us in our social media. These are the links. And for the ones that they follow us in our social media, you will be able to get a 1 hour free consultation with us to define your project. So you can start right now. We have our social media account on Facebook and on Instagram. Then please follow us so you can get to know more about the services that we provide as well. Okay. And this is also a tricky question for you, and I would like to know a little bit more about what is your opinion so we can get to know a little bit more about you. Please feel free to speak and to raise your hand or to comment. Why are you here in this migration webinar? Why is this interesting for you? Why are you considering coming to Australia and live permanently here in the country? Some opinions. Why are you considering that? For some people, it might be that if you are offshore, for example, I come from Colombia, and sometimes our home countries are difficult. Yes, we know that sometimes it's challenging for us to commute to work because the traffic is too much, and sometimes you spend 3-4 hours just going to work every day or coming back. Sometimes we don't feel secure in our countries, right? Sometimes we feel like, oh, all the time I feel insecure, that someone might try to steal my phone, that someone might to rob me. These are some of the difficulties that we live. Angelica, you say that you would like to get to know new places and job offers. Great, Angelica, and that's something that we're going to be talking a little bit more about that today, because Australia has some of the best landscapes here in the whole world, like at the beaches, the natural parks are quite amazing, but also there are plenty job opportunities here in the country. And Australia has one of the best life-work balance that you can find in the whole world, which is very important to know. Then please put in your mind, why do you want to come to Australia? What is my purpose? What do I want to achieve from this webinar? So we can help you as well to answer these questions. Why Australia? If you are already here in the country, you might know this, but if you are not here in Australia, you might not know that Australia, the English is the language that we speak at home, right? And it's the language that we all communicate at work. It's the language that is a native language. We are an English colony. Australia is an English colony. That is the common language that everyone speaks here in the country. The educational services and the courses that you can get in Australia is high quality education as well, which is a great guarantee for you. Australia has 8 of the 50 universities in the whole world, which is a great guarantee for you about the quality of education that you will receive. There are also vocational education that is very well structured. It's very well recognized as well, which offers great job opportunities too. Career opportunities in the country are amazing. You can work here in Australia as a builder. Yes, you can work as a civil construction engineer. You can work as a doctor, or you can work in other professions, and the salary is very good. Yes, like if you work even as a doctor, you can be making even the same amount of money if you were working as a builder sometimes. Then this is a great reference for you. For example, the minimum wage per hour legally that you will have here in the country is $25 per hour. Then this is a good reference for you, and you can do this calculation. If you were working here in Australia 8 hours per day, how much you will be earning? If you were working 8 hours per day and you earn, let's say, the minimum $25 per hour, the minimum salary that you were making per day is $200. Please compare it as well with the salary that you are making right now in your home countries. Then even in terms of an investment, even in terms of financial investment, Australia offers wonderful opportunities that you can be as well be part of. The quality of life is amazing. In the last, one of the last surveys that we got from world organizations, Australia has 3 of the best cities in the world that you can live. And we have Melbourne, and we have Brisbane, we have Sydney, different cities. There are different weathers, but the quality of life in these cities is amazing. If you know, the Australian map is quite big. Yes, we are, even as a continent, we are bigger than Europe. And we are only 23 to 24 million right now of people here living in the country, which for you is a great reference, because this is a country that is built by migrants. Then it's a country that also opens the doors to migrants in Australia, because we need the migrants to build the economy. We need the migrants to continue supporting the elder people. Then Australia is an open doors country for migration, which is very important for you. But obviously, even as a young country, we welcome migration that is skilled professionals. Yes, and this is the ones that, as a country, the Australian government is focused the most. Welcoming here into Australia people who already have a profession, people who already have some work experience, people who already have a good level of English. Then in that sense, the migration opportunities are countless. You can come to Australia, you can improve your English, you can apply for a graduate visa, even for a sponsor visa, for a partner visa, or you can apply for the skilled visa. That is what we are going to be focusing today. Rebecca, you said that you want to reunite with your family. Wonderful. I'm glad to know that you have your family here. Is also, even I can say it personally, having your family here living in the country as a migrant is a great happiness. Then more than happy to support you with that as well. Gonna be now inviting our invited college lady. She is from Colombia originally, and she is the representative of Central Australian College. Central Australian College is an institution with over 15 years of experience teaching international students. They have campuses in Brisbane, Melbourne, and Hobart, which is a great option for you, because Hobart, and Julia is going to be helping us a little bit more about that. Hobart is a regional area which offers extra opportunities in terms of migration. Then lady is going to be talking with us for around 10 minutes, and after we will have Julia, who is going to be focusing for the whole 40 minutes, talking about the migration opportunities that you can have here in Australia in your own professions. Thank you, lady, for attending this presentation. Please share your screen with us, or please, you're more than welcome to start.
Thank you very much, Frederick, and thank you, everyone. And nice to meet you, Julia. I think it's the first time that we meet. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I would like to congratulate you because you take this time to learn new things and to explore new opportunities to come to Australia and have different options and explore different ways to get a permanent resident or another objective that you have while you come here. So I will start with my presentation. If you have any questions, you can send in a chat all the questions that you have, and we can move forward smoothly. So I would like to tell you that my name is Lady. I'm original from Colombia, as Fred said. I've been here around 9 years in Australia. I came to Australia as a student, and because I really wanted to improve my English, and then I just decided to explore new opportunities to stay here longer. And yes, it's already 9 years. So I've been part of the marketing staff for Latam in Europe at Central Australian College. This institution has been around 15 years, has all the experience in the educational sector in Australia, and it was established in 2009. Our main vision and mission, it's about to be a leader of the provision of education to all our international students, but also to our domestic students in Victoria. One of the primary values is just teaching a high quality of the education, keep going with all the support of the students along the journey in Australia. Basically, we are located in different states around Australia. Two of the main cities, that is Melbourne and Brisbane, because as mentioned right before, Hobart is a regional campus that is really good for the student who wants to decide to move to a regional area in regards to the migration purpose. So I think Julia will explain it to you later about how this option it's suitable for most of the students who wants to follow out the migration pathway. At the moment, I'm currently here in West Footscray. A good thing of that we have a really center location in front of the train station. So we have our own workshops in West Footscray. But at the same time, we have a modern location in Melbourne CBD campus that is exactly in front of the Flinders station. So it's very convenient for all the students because most of the international students decide to come and just allocate it around the CBD location and decided to have the accommodation there because it's very easy to walk through the shop, through the coffee shops and all the stores that are there. At the same time, you can find really good opportunities because it's in the high demand, all the hospitality job opportunity for you guys if you want to explore more. We also have another location in Hobart in a beautiful state of Tasmania. I've been there for 2 or 3 times already, and I love that area because it's very peaceful. It's for personalities that they are quiet or people that who wants to explore something more nature or wants to explore a little bit more about convenient places, but it's still small, not too excited like a big cities like a Melbourne or Sydney. We also have another location in Brisbane. It's already located in the center. It's very close from all of the public transportation and everything. So it's Brisbane is the city where is Freddie located there. It's a beautiful weather there. And actually, we are located in different cities, in different states, because we want to offer to the students different type of weather, different type of experience, and depends of the location. All right, just we want to move on to the entry requirements. And that's a basic requirement because actually I will explain it to you more about how the documentation to apply for the visa, but I just give it to you an overview in regards to the education. So the entry requirements, the first one is academic requirement. If you want to apply for an English course and it's only that you require it's the password and all the documentation that Frey suggested to update. So if the student wants to apply for a vocational courses, and definitely the minimum requirement is to complete the GR12. That for you guys, it's equivalent to higher education. The second requirement is the academic one. If you want to go and entry via ELICOS is the program for English courses. Or IELTS, minimum 6 in level 6 or PTA 50 or higher if you want to apply straightforward for a vocational course. All right. And the minimum age is 18 years and over to be accepted in our college. Okay. I think everything is clear at this stage. So I would like to explain it to you more about our courses or our programs that I'm happy to introduce. English courses, that's one of the main courses that we have because the good thing is you can start from elementary and then you can reach until advanced level. We also have professional courses like focusing in business, automotive, hospitality courses, community services, and construction design for all the engineers with this kind of background. I would like to talk more about this, how it comes this package courses in our college. So we have three main fields. The first one is the hospitality, the second one is automotive, and the third one is health. What is happening with this? So most of the students decide to study at least 2 years to apply in future or later on for a 485 visa, that it means postgraduate. And the student, after completed his studies, they can apply for that and they can work full time. So Julia will explain that better on this matter. And regarding to the hospitality, automotive, and health package, it's minimum 2 years. So they're coming in total duration down 104 weeks, and they can reach all the certification in this area. And what happens if the student already studied in hospitality, in automotive, in health? I will explain it to you because Australia, it's a beautiful place, but also has different opportunities of job for everyone, for international students. So we will look into the job role, how it can work, these programs to you. In regards to the automotive, if you already completed Cert 3, Cert 4, and diploma, you are able to apply for a job in mechanical technician until reach all in regards to the operational manager, automotive service manager, and purchasing manager, everything in regards to the management skills. So that's a really good program for all the international students, because one of the benefits is, for example, in Central Australian College, we have plenty of the elements that the student can apply and do the practical hours, because it's very important that the student understand the education here. It's not only theoretical part, it's also important the practical part, because this combination, you can complete successfully your program. So that's a really good thing and for all the students. And of course, we will support all the students during this journey until apply for the work placement. Okay. And next, let's move on to the job role in regards to the hospitality. I have plenty of my students that, because it's important to know, okay, if I have a skill or a skill set for hospitality, what I should ask for a job. Okay. For commercial cookery, you can find a job in commercial, like a cook, like a chef. And if you complete the certificate, it's very good for you because you already get better skill to supervise other people in the kitchen. Even you can reach the executive chef. If you complete the diploma of hospitality management, that's a really good skill to have the position of the restaurant manager. Most of our students already graduated, already reached this position. Restaurant manager is a good position, it's a good salary, and it's a good pathway for the migration. All right. Finally, I would like to explain to you more about the job role in regards to the civil construction design, because this program is focused for all the students who has the background in engineering. So this student can work in the construction industry and support professional engineers as a draft person. Another program that is very in high demand is Diploma of Community Services, and is already a good paid for there. So the student will have specialized skills in community services to work with all the people and that has any disability, or you can have all the child care, or you can work in the aged care as well. So it's a lot of fields that you can find a job, a proper job in community worker. Okay. The good thing about our program is we provide to the students the work placement. So we help the student to find the work in the industry, because they need to complete at least 120 hours if it is in certificate 3 in individual support, just to reach the certificate. And once they get the experience, they can complete the course and they can gain the experience by themselves. So that's really good for the migration pathway as well. I just decided to outline one by one of the student work placement that we already have some strategic alliances with some of our partners. And the student can work in different states. For example, in Tasmania and Victoria, we are looking forward more in Brisbane as well. So this is mainly the locations, the job opportunities that you can find to do the practical thing. Student-centered services is very important for us. I can say that we try to support the student during all the journey, and since they start until the final step. That's very important for the students because if I speak Spanish and some of the students came from Latin America and they cannot understand English at all, I can support if the barrier is the English, all right? But we have staff with different backgrounds as well, and that can speak Hindi, can speak Nepali, can speak Portuguese, can speak Mandarin, can speak Philippine. So it's many of the languages that we can support the students here. And also, it's not about only to come to the class. Very interesting that the student can be encouraged about the extracurricular classes. For example, with all our English students, when they come for the first time to Australia, we try to take all the students to do excursions, to do some clubs of books, recording some videos, and everything that is very helpful for them, because it's not only important the class within the classroom, it's also important to support the student outside about the experience in Australia. All right. Why choose Central Australian College? We have been 15 years of education, very sustainable, high quality of education. And it's an institution recognized around the world and had very, very good location, a strategic location, and the student can do the internal transfer. If the student is coming to Melbourne and tell me, lady, I'm not feeling well here, can I go to Brisbane, for example, with break? For sure. We will do and fill it out all the form, and we will follow all the procedure, and definitely we will help the student to do the internal transfer to another city. So basically, this is all the benefit that we can recommend all the students to choose Central Australian College and to choose Australia, because believe me, it's a beautiful country to come. Thank you very much for your attention. I think we have a couple of the questions here. Let me check in the chat.
It's a specific question about the
485 visa. I think Julia is the right person to answer.
Yes.
I studied bachelor in hospitality and I'm 37. That's really important to know the age, because there are some requirements to apply for the 485.
Yeah.
And yeah, from my end, it's pretty much from my end, Pradeep.
Thank you very much, lady. The reason why we have the CAC invited today is because they offer a good varied range of courses that offers graduate visa opportunities, and in the future, skilled visa opportunities. And if you want to develop your career here as a civil engineer, a technician, or as a chef, or in community services, CAC is one of the best options to come here to Australia to study these courses. Gonna now introduce Ana Julia. Ana Julia is our invited and our registered migration agent working with us in collaboration. She has more than 15 years of experience here in Australia as a migration agent, which is a great reference for you. Personally, I love about Ana Julia that she cares a lot about her migrants and the people that she is servicing to. I love as well how she has this focus and this mentality that is not about quantity. It's not about how many people you are helping. If you have 50, 100, but it's how you help them. It's more about quality. Then we share that mentality with her, and the experience that she has, the knowledge that she has about the migration legislation here in Australia is very surprising. You don't find any other migration agent with this experience here in the country, which for us is a great guarantee because she can support our students and our skills professionals with the best advice possible. Then thank you, Julia, really for being part of this webinar. We are really happy to be with you today. And yeah, I'm gonna start sharing the presentation from Julia. Okay. Originally from Italy, right, Julia? But speak Portuguese, yes?
Hi, Freddie. Yes, thank you for introducing a bit about, myself.
But I forgot the most important, the Italian background.
I'm originally from Italy. I have been living and working in Australia for the past 15 years. And just want to say hi to everyone. Great presentation, lady. Thank you for that. And just want to also let you know that I came to Australia as a migrant under the General Skill Migration Program. So the one that we're going to discuss today with my husband 15 years ago. So the whole process started from offshore outside Australia at that time. And it was a long process. It took approximately 2 years at that time, but it was successful. And we were able to move to Australia as a permanent resident. First we lived in Sydney for 9 years. And then we decided to move to Brisbane, which is a beautiful city where I live. Freddie also lives here. And yeah, I'm here to answer your questions. Just to keep in mind that what we are providing today is a general overview. So we are going to answer your questions, but sometimes it'll be hard to do an individual technical assessment. But I'll try my best to answer all your questions. Can I start, Freddie? Okay, great. So the General Skill Migration Program is one of the pathways to permanent residency. There are other programs which allow also international students and overseas workers to achieve permanent residency through a sponsorship. The General Skill Migration Program is a selection program based on points calculation. So it's a point-based immigration system for skilled workers. It is designed, in fact, to address skill shortage in the Australian market. So the occupation list are updated by the Department of Immigration to make sure that they reflect the needs of the market, of the Australian job market. This program offers a pathway to permanent residency. And again, it's a selection program where you express your interest for a particular occupation. And it does not require an Australian employer to sponsor you. Those are some general points. Oops. Can we move forward to the next slide? So there are 3 key visa subclasses under the General Skill Migration. The first one is the federal visa, which is the subclass 189, the skilled independent visa, which is based on the National Occupation List. The National Occupation List is also called Medium Long-Term Skills Strategic List. So all occupations available on the national list can relate to the subclass 189. Again, it does not require a sponsor, and it is a pathway to permanent residency. Then we have the subclass 190, which is a state-nominated visa. So your occupation must be on a specific Australian state. And then each financial year, the states of Australia, they have to review their criteria and also the occupation list, which is related to the needs of that particular job market. And it is also a pathway to permanent residency. Then we have a third subclass, which is the 491, which is the regional visa. Again, your occupation must be on the state regional list of that particular state. It is a pathway to permanent residency, requires a state regional nomination, but it doesn't give you direct access to permanent residency. It is a visa valid for 5 years. After 3 years, working and living in that state or regional area, the applicant can apply for permanent residency. So it is a longer process for the regional visa, but it's still an excellent option to achieve permanent residency after 3 years. I think we can move to the next slide. And here is a quick overview of the basic eligibility requirements under the General Skill Migration Program. First, the applicants, the candidates, must be under 45 years of age at the time of invitation. So when the government decides to invite that particular candidate, he or she must be under 45 to qualify. Another basic requirement is the English. There is a minimum English that you need to demonstrate, English level that you need to demonstrate, which is competent English, and the equivalent is 6 in each band of the IELTS, or the equivalent on another test that is recognized by the Department of Home Affairs. So the English component is very important. 6 in the IELTS or in equivalent test in each band is the minimum, but if you achieve higher scores, such as 7 or 8, you can gain more points. Because as I said at the beginning, this is a points-based system. So the candidates who have higher points have also more chances to receive an invitation. Clearly, you need to have an occupation on the relevant skilled occupation list. As we said before, we have 3 subclasses of visas. The first one is the 189. Your occupation must be on the national list. Then there is the 190 state list. Your occupation must be on the state list. 491, your occupation must be on the state regional list. And another key component and eligibility requirement is obtaining a positive skill assessment. What is a positive skill assessment? For each occupation, there is a relevant Australian authority that will recognize your education and work experience on a particular occupation available on the skill list. So English and skills assessment, those are 2 key elements of the process. Having minimum competent English, having your occupation on a relevant skilled occupation list, and a positive skill assessment, recognition of your qualifications and experience on that occupation that you have nominated. And in total, you will need to achieve minimum 65 points to become eligible to submit an expression of interest for one of these visa subclasses. How do you achieve these 65 points? Usually it's based on age, level of English, and level of education. If you have studied in Australia and you meet the Australian study requirement, that will give you more points. If you study in regional area, it will give you additional 5 points. So you build up your points based also on the number of years of experience. Important to keep in mind that I know that it's a process, but you need to make sure that you understand how this works. So again, the focus would be identify your nominated occupation, achieve the English level which is required, and obtain a positive skill assessment. 65 points is the minimum. However, you need to make sure that you maximize your chances of increasing your points to receive an invitation by the Australian government. Freddie, I think we can move to the next slide, please. Here we are. Okay, so here's how the application process works. First, with assistance of a lawyer or immigration agent, I recommend checking your eligibility and to identify also the relevant occupation list and see if your occupation is available. Get your skills assessment done, so recognition of your qualifications and work experience. Lady was mentioning few qualifications that are offered by her school. So an example could be mechanic, or vehicle mechanic, which is a high demand occupation in the national list, for example. And the skill assessment authority for this occupation is Trades Recognition Australia. So you need to go through a process which will recognize your qualifications, either if you have completed them in Australia or overseas as a motor vehicle mechanic, and also your work experience will be assessed. This is one example. Then also chef, which is a high demand occupation. Again, you need to demonstrate to have completed either a certificate for in kitchen management or a diploma and a diploma of hospitality. Go through a skill assessment process to be able to start this pathway through the general skill migration. Again, skill assessment, English test. Once you achieve the minimum of 65 or more, depending on the type of visa you look for, you submit an expression of interest. An expression of interest is a declaration of your points on the government website, where they have a database called Skill Select. You create your profile, your expression of interest, and you can update it with additional information if your level of English improves or if you gain more work experience, and it's valid for up to 2 years. And you wait for the government to invite you to apply for the visa. Once you receive an invitation, then you will be asked to lodge a visa within a certain period of time, and that's where you will include all the supporting documents to prove that you really achieved the declared score. And again, and in addition to the documentation to support your English skills, your level of education and experience, you will need to satisfy also the medical and the character requirements. So medical test, police checks for the visa to be granted, for a permanent visa to be granted under the General Skill Migration Program. I think we can keep moving forward. Next slide is about, again, we said that there are 3 subclasses, right? The 1 and 9, which refers to the national occupation list. And then there are the state nominated visa, which is the 190, and the regional visa, which is the 491. So the state, as I said, the Australian states have their own lists and requirements. They are updated and potentially changed every financial year. Each financial year in Australia starts in July and ends the following June. So when we build up a strategy for a client, we look at the most favorable state for the need of that client, for the occupation of that client, and where the client has undertaken their studies here in Australia, potentially. So we need to look at which occupations are in demand on that particular state. If the client has studied or worked in that state, might have priority. If the client has any ties to that state, so he has any family ties, and if the client has secured an employment in that state. So those are all elements that you might have to satisfy to qualify for one state nominated visa or regional nominated visa, 190 to 491. Again, we need to look at the requirements of each individual Australian state to determine if you meet the requirements of the state that you are living in or you would like to move to. And we can move to the next slide, please. Here, what are the challenges? The Australian immigration law changes very often. So we need to stay up to date with the occupation list and the state requirements. Again, critical changes usually happen in July. So we are waiting for July 2025 to see what is going to happen in relation to this program. Going back to what you need to do in terms of your own homework. English test, skill assessment, which is the recognition of your skills and experience. And then lodge the expression of interest. And if your English scores improve, your work experience also, you can add 1 more year or 2 more years of work experience. You can update your expression of interest to maximize your points. The expression of interest is valid for 2 years. And in certain cases, of course, you will need the assistance of an immigration agent, not only for the initial assessment, but also to make sure that you take the right steps throughout the process. And prepare your documents in advance and keep in mind the key dates, because English tests are valid only for 3 years, and also skill assessments are only valid for 3 years or less, depending on the skill assessment authority. And I think we are almost done, so we can go ahead with the questions. Yeah. Any questions about this particular program, the General Skill Migration Program?
Hi, Ana Julia. How are you? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Thanks.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for the presentation. It was amazing. I was going to ask you because I was talking with Frederick about Master of Counseling in Psychotherapy that ICON Institute launched. It's 2 years program. So I was wondering which one will be the pathway after studying this 2 years. I'm 29 years at the moment, but if I'll be able to apply straight away for permanent residence, or should I apply the 485?
I would apply for the 485. Definitely, you need to apply for the 485. That will give you at least 2 years of full work rights, and it gives you time to build up, your plan,
experience.
Experience. Are you a psychologist back in your country?
No, I'm an economist.
No, that's right. Just to understand, because then you need to go through skills assessment, and also do this English test, build up your points, and lodge an expression of interest. Very important to keep in mind, when you lodge an expression of interest, you are not entitled to a bridging visa. So you need to have another visa to keep you here in Australia lawfully. Look at where are you based? Are you in Queensland?
Brisbane.
Okay, so in Brisbane, for example, for the 189, we need to look at the occupations on a 189, if there is any occupation that is relevant to your master, because otherwise you need to meet the state requirements. And Queensland requires you to work in your field in Queensland, either for the 190 or the 491 in Brisbane, or outside Brisbane for a regional visa. Just to let everyone know, everyone knows that regional means outside the 3 big cities. So the whole Australia is considered regional outside Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney. So definitely you need to apply for the 485, Jessica.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. In this case, it will be 2 years postgraduate, because some masters can be more, no? Okay.
If you study outside Brisbane, that you will be eligible to, if it's in regional, let's say Gold Coast, and you can be eligible to apply for the 3rd year, so up to 3 years.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thanks.
Perfect. We have another question from Victor. He is assistant engineer, and he say how long it will take for him to get this kind of visa. I imagine that one of the skills visas. How long can it take for him? I think that he is in Peru right now.
So it's not
How
here, Victor.
No, he's in Peru right now.
Okay, so Victor, first, if you're applying as an offshore applicant, you need to first thing do your skills assessment and the English test, because the skill assessment will recognize also your years of experience, and then you will have an idea of your points. Once you have an idea of your points, then you can see if you can lodge an expression of interest either for the 189, which is the federal visa, so it's based on the national list of occupations where system engineers is also available, or look at the states that also have your occupation in their list and see if you qualify as an offshore applicant. For example, Western Australia is one of the states that accept overseas applicants to start an expression of interest. Queensland have a short list also of occupations in the overseas occupation list. So, and then you lodge an expression of interest. You can lodge an expression of interest for multiple states and even more than one expression of interest, but this is not a guaranteed process. Your goal is to maximize your points, because it's not sure that you're going to receive an invitation. Very important, guys, to understand that this is a selection process. Only the candidates with higher points will receive an invitation. So the focus is increase and maximize your points. English and skill assessment will give you the initial benchmark. So clearly, if you are not in Australia and you haven't studied in Australia, you will not be able to add to this calculation the points of someone who has already satisfied the Australian study requirement, or maybe you study in regional area that gives you more points, but you can compensate that with higher score in your English and if you have many years of experience. Age is also an important factor. There are age groups. So the one that receives less points is the last group, which is 40 to 45. So important that you keep in mind that the first two steps are satisfying the English requirement, the skills assessment, make a correct calculation of points, lodge an expression of interest. And then you wait, and hopefully you will receive an invitation. The expression of interest is valid for up to 2 years. But again, this is not guaranteed. So what you need to do is try to maximize your points.
This is great. Thank you, Julia. And usually, let's say he lost the expression of interest. How long can he expect that he will get a response? Within how long?
Hard to say, Freddie.
It can take 6 months, 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay. And after 1 year, because we have another case from someone that is also, she's an architect and she's trying to come here. She lost an expression of interest a couple of years ago. Is that expression of interest still valid?
No, in fact, the system, Skill Select, will notify her when the expression of interest expires.
Expires, okay.
So she will be notified. There are a couple of questions that were asked before and I didn't answer to. So
yes,
just make sure
there
that
was one from Katwar. Sorry, Katwar, if I don't pronounce correctly.
And also Nisi.
Yes, he's asking if what if the 45 is not an option anymore? He studied a bachelor in hospitality and he's 37 years old.
So you could be sponsored, it depends on your experience, of course, but you could be sponsored under a 407 visa, which is a training visa if you don't have experience, only based on your qualification. This will give you time to gain experience with the company, and then the same company may sponsor you later on a 482 visa. Or if you have enough experience, you could be sponsored under 482 visa. So it's an option.
As a hospitality manager, let's say if he has 4 or 5 years of experience, will he be able to apply for a skilled visa?
It depends. It's not on a main. It's not on a main list. It's not on a national list. We need to see in which state or regional list it's available, if it's available.
That's what you want to speak? Please feel free to speak.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah. So, thank you for your presentation. My name is Kather. I do live in Brisbane, and I study hospitality management at UQ. I do have previous certificates and experiences as well overseas. But yeah, I will be graduating next year, so I'm looking for like options that I can apply for. If like I would not like to graduate then have another degree and another degree. It's like okay.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. So you might go for a sponsor visa then for A2, or have a look and see what is going to happen in July in relation to the 190 and the 491 visas here in Queensland, you know, because the program will close by June and then reopen after July. Usually Queensland never reopens in July, maybe a couple of months later, see what occupations are available and the requirements. You may lodge also an expression of interest, but again, because there is the gap of time that you cannot fill with a 485 visa, you will need probably to look for a sponsor before. Okay. And then consider also the skilled independent program.
Okay, but like finding a sponsor, that's another thing that we need to learn, I guess. Like, I have no idea where to go to look for that.
Yeah, I mean, you need to look for sponsors in hotels, in your industry.
Okay.
Your English is pretty good, so
thank you.
a big aspect, a big barrier is usually the English language. Okay. You know, but with your level of education and your skills, I would definitely start looking for a job now, despite the fact that you have a limitation in your working hours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. We have another question from Nisi. She's from Mexico, I think so. And she's asking about, she's a preschool teacher.
Yeah.
She's asking which course can help her to find a job and also with the permanent residency.
If she can afford a master of teaching, that would be great. I'm not sure if she's willing and happy to move to Australia and invest on a master degree, of course. But this is an occupation in high demand, Nisi, that requires a high level of English, but it will be a great pathway to permanent residency. You could also try the process from offshore, but you need a skills assessment.
This skill assessment is also under a labor agreement or no?
Why labor agreement? Labor agreement is a sponsored visa.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
No, that's okay.
Just 1 second. Okay. Nisi, was it clear for you the answer?
And also, yeah, go ahead. So
if you want, you can speak in Spanish and I will translate for you.
Oh, yeah.
Ok, sí, es que no pude escuchar porque me sacó la videollamada.
Okay. Then Julia was saying that a master of teaching can be maybe the best option for you if you can afford to come to Australia to study a master. And basically that's it. For everyone.
I put in the chat the ANSCO code for the occupation. Definitely need these are type of occupations. They also need a registration, not only skills assessment when you work with children. And the level of English, is quite high. So you need to really work on the English first to be able to start any process, Nisi. So maybe coming to Australia to start an English program would be probably the best step to start with, and then consider the possibility of either being sponsored or go through this skill assessment process. If she can afford a master of teaching, that would be an option as well. Or depending on your age, Nisi, how old are you?
25,
25 or 35?
20, 20.
25. So you're very young. So that could be definitely an option. English, and then consider either a master or a graduate diploma as well, because the skills assessment, the recognition of your skills as an early childhood pre-primary school teacher requires a skill assessment and also registration. The registration is done with each individual state. I know it's a very bureaucratic process migrating to Australia, but it's important to build up a strategy, follow the steps, and focus on each step individually.
That is very important. You mind to say again? Build the strategy, follow the steps, and
focus on each step individually. Don't get overwhelmed by the idea, oh my God, the English, the study, the skills assessment. So you just focus on each step individually. If your focus is learning the language, then you can just decide, okay, I'm gonna do it in my own country or move to Australia and do a 6-month or 1-year program to make sure that my English will be strong enough to move to the next step.
Perfect. If there are no more questions, I will continue. And thank you, Julia, really for helping the students and the professionals to navigate through this complex system.
No problem.
Thank you. For everyone, look, if your purpose is to come to Australia and become a permanent resident and become a citizen, which is absolutely possible and which is not uncommon. Many people manage to do it, even if they are from overseas. If that is your purpose, get the right advice. Yes, come to us, come to Julia. We are more than happy to support you with the whole process and to give you the advice that fits specifically your case. Yes, because my friend's case might be very different. My friend's case, his English or her English might be different level. The work experience might be very different. Then you need professional advice that fits your case, right? Sometimes we go around, sometimes we try to ask here, but actually the information that we get sometimes is not specific to your case. And that's why it's important to follow this process that Julia has been trying to teach us today. Rebecca, you have one question. It's about the notification that you are not eligible anymore. Yes. And Julia mentioned that yes, that you should get a notification about your expression of interest, and the system will notify you that you are not eligible. You are mute, Julia.
The expression of interest is valid for 2 years, not 1 year.
Okay, perfect. And then after, she should receive a notification if the system, if she is not eligible anymore, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
They will receive a notification when the expression of interest is about to expire, or if there is any change on her regarding her points. You know, when you change the age group, the expression of interest will be automatically updated. All right.
All right. Thank you, Julia. I'm going to finish 5-10 minutes more, basically to speak about our agency, what we do as a company and how we support your journey as well. I came to Australia as an international student. It's usually the most common path. You come here to study, to improve your English. Once you have a good level of English, if you can get a sponsor to your occupation, or if you can apply for a skill visa, you can do it. Or you can also decide to study the same career path or a different path. Some people come here as an engineer. They might have a passion for cooking and then decide to study cookery, and they decide to go through the graduate visa and after to the sponsor visa or the skill visa. Then your journey might change, yeah? And that is why also you need someone that has done that journey to support you from the start. What we do for our students and for our our skills professionals, is that we provide coaching sessions even before that they come to Australia. Because when you are open for this change, your mentality will change and the migration opportunities will come together, right? Then this is part of our services. I have been working even as the head of recruitment for a Japanese company here in Australia, the marketing manager for other companies, and I have been during the last 10 years helping international students through their journey, which is a great guarantee for you. One of the things that also you need to know about us as a company is that we are a registered Australian company. We had, Julia, on the last days, we have an Italian student. Her name is Veronica. It was a couple of weeks ago, and she was a little bit stressed. She came stressed to us because her educational path had changed. Yes, suddenly she was going to study a master, but she didn't go to enroll. Then it was 1 or 2 weeks before the visa was going to expire. Then she came to us because her agency was in Europe and they could not help her anymore. When you have an agency, a migration agent, an education agent that is here in Australia, these people ask, we can help you because we know the latest changes in the migration system, because we know the latest changes in the requirements to study, to apply for a vocational course or for a master. And that is why very important to trust a company that is already here, not only based in offshore. We have offices in Bogota and we have offices in Philippines as well, but it's a great guarantee for you to know that we are here in Australia. We have 100% visa approval rate. We are very excited to say that, and this is a guarantee for you as well. If we have a case, a student visa case, for example, that we believe that is not going to be successful, we don't take it, because we know that the risk that is going to be involved, but we also know the challenges that you are trying to commit to be able to get a student visa and to come to Australia. Or even 100%, and we share that mentality with Julia. Sometimes you are not prepared maybe to come here to apply for a skill list, for a skill pathway visa, or you are not ready to apply for a student visa. But that does not mean that in a couple of years you cannot do it. Yes, maybe your English is not good enough right now to study a master, but maybe it's going to be ready in a couple of years. Then this is part of the guarantee and the process that we also offer, and it's an experience that we got during the last 8 years of experience working in the industry. Another one of the reasons why you can trust us is because we facilitate your transition. Yes, and I'm going to speak a little bit more about the packages of services that we provide as an agency, so you can understand a little bit more about that. And obviously, a great guarantee with our services, our honesty. Yes, absolutely honest in everything that you need to know about your goal to come to Australia. And why it's important to know that for you? Because I brought my family to Australia. It's one of my greatest happiness as a migrant here in the country, to be able to bring your family. I understand the difficulties that you will have with your loved ones, with your family, with your partners if you decide to come. The honesty is mandatory for us as a company in every step of the process. Then that is a great guarantee for you that you can have as well. As I mentioned, I came here as a migrant as well. I have to reinvent myself, as many of migrants they do. Came as a swimming teacher, was one of my first jobs. After I was working for English colleges, I know the challenges to find a job in your career. And that is one of the tips that I can give you right now. If you are having difficulties to find a job in your career, even being from overseas, look for possible internships. Internships are a great way to open job opportunities for you in the country. If you have questions about that, we can always help you how to get these internships. And look, Australian companies, they are open to migration skilled professionals. Why? Because usually the people that they come from overseas are very well prepared academically, professionally. They have plenty experience in the industry, and they are excellent workers. And that's something that we all should feel very proud, that we are very confident with our skills because we have gone through many difficulties. I come from Colombia. In Colombia, to go to university, to develop your career, you have to go through too many challenges, yes? You have to even work at the same time that you are studying. Your family is trying to support you. And then all these challenges are making you stronger. Then when you move to a new country, you will realize that is one of the best skills that you have to find a job in your career. Then be absolutely confident, yes, it's possible to find a job in your career and you can do it. As Julia was mentioning, there are you can work in your career even when you are studying, or you can also work in your career after that you study. If you come here as in a student visa, you can only work 24 hours, which is completely legal. And during the student visa, you can also work in your own profession, right? And that is one of the goals that we support our students too. And after that you finish your studies, hopefully you can apply to a graduate visa. If you are applying, for example, as a chef, or if you are applying as an automotive technician, then you can work after during the graduate visa full time, which is going to give you more experience, more relevant knowledge to apply for a skill list application. And this is where I would like to know what is stopping you, because sometimes that is sometimes we have little difficulties. Sometimes we don't have all the information. For example, sometimes we believe that we cannot do it, but there are many opportunities. Then please feel free to comment what is stopping you right now, or to raise a hand if there is a specific difficulty that you think that you have that you cannot do it, and maybe we can support you as an agency. Sometimes we believe that financial difficulties is one of the most common reasons to come to Australia. Sometimes we believe that we don't have enough money to move to the country. Yes. Sometimes we believe that it's not possible to apply for a job and to get this to get an employer working in my career, even if I am offshore. And let me tell you something, and we have great successful cases with people who are even overseas and they apply for jobs here to Australia and they get them. Sometimes you have very specific abilities, very specific skills that you can use. And here in Australia, there are great opportunities in this career, or in these specific skills that you have. Then open your mind, which is very important. It's going to open the door for you to come to Australia. The process, basically, you book a consultation with us. We define what is your project. We prepare all the documentation. We start the visa application. We give you some coaching sessions as well, some migration consultations as well with Julia, to define what is your project, to work around all the little questions that you have that maybe you need to know before that you come to Australia. We obviously look for visa approvals, and we help you as well too with all the process to come to Australia. As part of these services, we have a package of services. If you come here as a student, then you can apply to all our educational support, financial planning, visa application, well-being support, which includes helping you to open a bank account, helping you to get a tax file number, helping you to get a mobile number, all the basics that you need to get settled. We have another package that is called Gorilla Package. It includes everything that I mentioned before, plus accommodation services. If you come to Australia as an international student and you come to live, for example, with people in the same house that they speak the same language than you, it's gonna be a little bit of an obstacle for you in the future to develop your English if you only speak English when you are working or when you are at the school. Hopefully, and that's one of our goals, when you come to Australia, we help you to find a place, a shared house where you can live with other people that they also are in the same journey, speaking, they need to speak English, or even with Australian people. As part of this package, we also offer obviously airport pickup and travel accommodation. And we have a package that is the package that we love the most. It's called, we call it Homo Sapiens package, and includes tourist activities, includes professional development, which may, for example, is helping you to prepare your resume, helping you to prepare for an interview. We had the other day an IT engineer, and he came to us because he went to an interview with an Australian company. He is right now in USA, and he failed during the interview. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to answer all the questions properly. He didn't manage to connect with the employer. And this is one of the things that we have experience with. We know, for example, how you should answer all the questions when you are in an interview here in Australia. And this is very important for you to know, because it's a great guarantee and it's a great support. And yes, we offer some professional development opportunities. We also help you to find a job, even applying for jobs here in Australia, and obviously all the immigration services part. This is the link to book a consultation with us. So you can request a free consultation. We offer an initial 30 minutes free consultation. After that we assess the situation, then we can organize a booking with Ana Julia, that is our migration agent, and she is going to be helping you as well with the migration process. This is the link to book the meeting with us. Please feel free to do it. Share as well the link with anyone that you think that might be interested in being part of this process and being part of this journey. Share it with your families, with your partners as well, if you think that you want to come together as a couple. We also put at the top of the chat, we also put the links for our websites and for our social media, so you can follow us there, and so you can get to know a little bit more about the offer that we have and the experience that we have as an agency as well. If there is any questions, please feel free to speak, and I am more than happy to support you with any questions that you have. These are our contact details as well. These are the links for our social media, the office as well. We have an office here in Brisbane, in the Brisbane city. If you want to come to visit our office, this is the phone number for our educational agent in Colombia and here in Australia as well. And this is the email that you can contact us to. If there are no any questions, thank you very much, everyone, really, for being part of this process. For us, is an amazing opportunity. We are very happy to support you. I believe that you should be very proud of yourself to consider taking the challenge to move to a new country. Then really, from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. And thank you very much for being part of this journey. Thank you. Julia already left, but thank you, Lady, as well, for providing all the information to the students. If you have any question about all the cookery courses, all the vocational courses, or even coming to study English, CAC, with their campuses in Brisbane, Melbourne, and Hobart, is one of the best options here in Australia. It's one of the options as well that is quite flexible in terms of a payment plan and in terms of the affordability. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Lady, really, for being part of this meeting.
Thank you, Fred. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for everyone. We will be here to support you. If you have any questions, just contact Fred or directly to me or Central Australian College. Thank you, team, Monkeys team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maggie is still connected.
Thank you.
We managed to answer all the questions from Victor. He was in the previous one as well, and he had a few questions as well. Where is my favorite student, Samantha? Could you listen all the webinar as well? She's maybe working.
Yeah.
Maggie, where are you from, Maggie? Can you still hear us? She might be working as well. Maggie is from Philippines?
I don't know, actually. I'm
might-
not sure.
Yes, from Philippines.
Yes. Nice. Thank you very much, team, for your time. Let's join in the another link. Okay.
Okay.
So we can
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
I'll remove them from the call so they can.
Yeah, I finished the call now.
Okay.
Okay.
Join the other meeting.
Have a rest, guys. Have a rest 10 minutes. Go and drink something, and we meet in 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
15 minutes. Have a rest 15 minutes, and we catch up in 15 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.